Everyone joins the military with their own story. I joined the military right out of high school, with the hopes of starting a better life for myself than I had growing up. I was in for about 8 years, had a pretty solid enlisted career, and then decided to go to flight school. Flight school and follow-on training is when a lot of the trauma from my childhood started to become an issue. There were moments in training where I was reminded of things I didn't want to remember. I didn't want to say anything. I was really hesitant to reach out and ask for help and to admit the struggle I had going on. I realized I couldn't live with myself if anything happened to my crew because I wasn't focused. So I took the first step and went to my director of psychological health on base. I asked her, hypothetically speaking, could someone reach out and get help and not have it impact their career? I didn't want to lose my flight status or my clearance.
I told her that I completely understand how it can be scary to be vulnerable and reach out for help, that we all have psychological health, highs and lows, good days and bad days, and I'm not here to kick her out of the military, make her lose her job or security clearance, that it really is just getting her to manage those emotions and understand what they are so she can be her happiest and healthiest self.
That conversation changed my life. It changed my career. After I initially reached out for help, I was incredibly ashamed and I felt like I needed to hide it from my command. The turning point for me was a reprimand that triggered some seriously difficult childhood memories. At the end of the day, I went to my truck and I just sobbed. I couldn't keep it together anymore. I heard a knock on my window. It was my commander. I didn't want him to know what was really going on, so I brushed him off.
It was completely out of character for her. So I wasn't going to leave any airmen behind. I followed up and checked in with her and made sure everything was okay, and later she told me her story.
Once I knew I had his support and his backing, that's when my treatment really turned around. That's when I started to feel less ashamed of the struggle. I could own it and really start to address it. I was truly able to start overcoming the things that were holding me back. To me, the counseling sessions might as well have been trips to the gym or sprints up a mountain. I knew from the outset that I needed to take care of my body and my mind. Getting better is never one and done. Initially, I was looking for a quick fix. I was so frustrated when I wasn't instantly better after one appointment. I became even more frustrated when I wasn't clicking with my counselors. Finding the right counselor and the right therapy for me wasn't easy. You have to give yourself some grace to get through treatment. It's gonna take work. I'd be lying if I said there weren't times where I wanted to give up on treatment, times I thought about walking away from everything. But I knew that the only path to happiness and recovery, happiness at home and in my career, was one that involved overcoming the trauma that I had experienced. You have to be honest with where you are and what you're going through. Accept that it takes time. It takes time for improvement. Keep reaching out to make it work. Find yourself, your purpose, what's going to drive you forward. Give yourself a baseline so you can get through this as well. The only person that's going to fight for your career, your life, and your happiness is you. When I shared my full story with my squadron commander, he told me I was part of a military family now. This meant having the support of our brothers and sisters in arms, as well as commanders who had my back and wanted to see me succeed. I found that's one of the best perks of service. When times get tough, your brothers and sisters will be there for you. No matter who we are or how we've come into service, whether we're airmen, soldiers, sailors, or Marines, we each bring a story with us. Today and every day, and particularly now that I'm a leader, I'm working with my unit to share the message that you can get stronger through treatment. We have to start sharing our stories and embracing mental health treatment as we would any other medical condition. Just like we go to the gym to get physically fit for service, it's our duty to put in the work to get psychologically fit as well. Our inability to see the injury doesn't have to create a stigma or a culture of shame. As members of a military family, we can and we will look out for each other. Reaching out is a sign of strength. Visit realwarriors.net or call 866-966-1020.